Starbase, where no turtle has gone before.
Shock. Okay.